Thank you so much for making time and
for
coming. You saw me running. I could try for the marathon, no?
Yes.
Asante kwa kuja. Ukaje lakini?
Niko poa.
Uko poa? Weekend ilikuwa salama?
Yes, busy though.
Yeah, very
Yes,
busy.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
it's good to be busy.
Yep.
It's good to be busy. And now we're getting started for a new week. And on Mondays, we're going to be having this sort of talk because people need to know they can be everything they want to be.
All right.
So question one, can you really get over fear?
Pardon?
Can you really overcome your fear?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But I think we need, first of all, to try and define what is fear. And perhaps also to try to break it down into what really fear is all about. Now, there are three components about fear. And one of the basic foundation of fear is loss. Anytime someone is afraid of something, they are afraid of losing something. That's one. Second component is something we do refer to as belief. And belief is actually confident thought. For you to be fearful about something, it means there is something you believe so confidently about that it's going to happen to you or it's not going to happen. Yeah. Then the third component is what we call expectation. Actually, there's a law called the law of expectation, which states that whatever you expect with confidence will tend to become your self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, those three components, when they combine together, they form a very powerful force that will actually cause things to materialize in a negative way for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, all right.
Yes.
Now, there are different reasons as to why we fear whatever it is that we fear. What are some of those things that, where could it stem from?
I strongly believe that we are only born with two kinds of fears. That is the fear of loud noise and the fear of falling. All other fears are acquired throughout life. We learn them from the society, from the community, the guardians, the people who took care of us, our parents, our teachers. So actually fears are taught.
They're taught.
We learn from our environment. We learn from our parents. We learn from our peers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we have our parents who, can, what they're afraid of, they pass it on to you. So I'm afraid of heights. So I'm just like, no, until you know.
Exactly.
Could that happen?
Yes, that's what happened. Because, you see, the person who is bringing you up or trying, living with you, well, whatever, like you just put it rightly, is whatever they're afraid of, they will also be trying to, don't do that, don't do this, don't do this. This will happen. So we actually taught fear in life.
Yeah.
The only fear you are born with is the fear of falling and the fear of loud noise.
Yeah.
Yes, these are the fears. We acquire them throughout life.
So I want to talk about the fears that you acquired in life.
Yes.
What are some of the ones that you had to get over?
Myself?
Yes.
Which one? I think one of the greatest fears that I had when I was growing up is being unable to articulate my thoughts to people clearly. And I think that stemmed because of where I came from, where I went to school, and the kind of teachers we had. I came from a place where we were taught English in vernacular. So actually, when I went to high school, it was a very big problem for me to be able to articulate my thoughts, to share my experiences and my knowledge, my information with people. So that was a big fear. And actually, most people suffer from that, the fear of speaking in public. So that is really what I had to overcome. And let me tell you, your greatest fear can actually be where you are strong at in life. So the moment you overcome that fear, then you will gain leverage in life and move forward. But the point is, you must conquer fear. And like I heard you say, every human being has fears. But those guys who succeed and overcome their fears are the people who make up their mind. They say, what I want is more important to me than the fear that is trying to inhibit me. So they conquer fear by developing courage. Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
Because when you were trying to express yourself, you'd mix it in with mother tongue.
Yes.
How do you say it? How do you say it? Because you were so used to mixing it all up. That is very true. That is very true.
Yes.
And we also have, fear of failure, which also makes you fail because you are so scared of failing.
Yes.
So getting past that we don't know how to do that. Do we talk to ourselves? Do we pray? Do we offer sacrifices? Do we pay tithe? What? I bet people are watching. That's what they want to know.
Okay, I think you do some of those things, but you don't do all of those things. Okay, number one thing you really need to identify in the fear that you have is, what exactly do I believe that is causing me to have this fear? Let's, for example, look at the fear of failure. Maybe you want to start some business, but you're afraid that you will fail, you will not succeed. You begin by articulating clearly in your mind, even on paper, exactly what is it do I have to believe for me to think that this is what is going to happen to my life. Once you identify the belief, 2 or 3 beliefs that make you think and believe that things will not work out for you or they will work out in a certain way, once you identify that, then you need to ask yourself this question: what do I have to believe for me to be able to do A, B, C, D, for me to be able to succeed. And then you begin working on those beliefs, and now you begin talking to yourself. It's called self-talk. You begin to affirm yourself that you can do it.
Yeah.
And once you do that, you'll be able to. It won't happen overnight. It takes time.
But you know what's so interesting is that some people make it look like it's their personality. Say iti mini moga, ni mimi nakuanga mpole. So I won't speak in front of people. I won't, go for what I really want. So what happens is the aggressive people who do go for what they want, people say, "Ai, we anakuanga na kibele mbele."
People actually try to give a lot of excuses for their inefficiencies and lack of success or failures in life. Did you know, by the way, that all of us are self-made? Only that the successful people are the ones actually who admit they are self-made. Failures in life don't actually admit they are failures. They try to shift blame.
They're self-made failures.
Yes, they are all of us, we are self-made. But it's only the successful people who actually admit that I am self-made. Failures don't. They say it is because of so-and-so. It's my personality. It's the way I was raised up. It's the way I was born. They give excuses. They suffer from a disease I call excusiatis. Giving a lot of excuses.
That's not what you learn.
I create some words sometimes.
Like infopreneur.
Yes.
What is infopreneur?
My business, I do a lot of trainings and talking to people, so it's basically giving people information and trying to assemble that information in form of knowledge, which forms intelligence for them that give them leverage in life. So I'm an infopreneur. Yes.
And I bet part of that information is talking to people about how powerful their mind is. And we hear that statement all the time.
Yes.
But how do you then tune your mind to think in that way?
You see, your mind actually has to have fuel for it to function. And the fuel that fuels your mind is your thoughts. What are you thinking about? Where are you getting those thoughts from? And those thoughts will come from your environment, from the people that you interact with, from the books that you read. I believe, and I keep telling people that you should be asking yourself this question. The people that I hang out with, what do they make me think when I'm with them? Because the moment you begin to think in a certain way, you also begin to feel in a certain way. The things you think will make you feel in a certain dimension. They will make you feel in a certain way. So it's from the environment, the thoughts that we think. Thoughts are the software that runs the mind.
Yes. And the minute you know that, then now you know how to sort of control it.
Yes.
All right, so now is there any truth to this, that there is a direct correlation between the intensity of our fear and the degree of our fascination? When you're so fascinated by rich people and that's all you want to be and to do every day, and then at the same time, that is what really, really scares you, getting to that point. Can you really? You question yourself?
Well, I think I would beg to sort of disagree with that, but there's some truism to it, because there are people also who are afraid of success, fear of success as well. Am I going to make it like so-and-so, like this kind of guys? There's the fear of success. By the way, there are many kinds of fears. Fear of making mistakes, fear of failure, fear of rejection, and many other fears. All these fears combined. And someone actually defined fear when I was in school for me and said, fear is false evidences appearing real. And that is why once you formulate in your mind that you're afraid about something, you will tend to see more of that. You tend to see that because that is what you believe. Yes.
Because it looks real.
Yes.
And it's so interesting how, this again comes from so many things around you. Because when your parents now, they make you fear the same things they fear, you think it's real. You're so sure you're afraid of heights.
I've actually seen people seeing things that don't even exist because they believe that this is how things are. Because of fear. Fear makes you see something that doesn't even exist. I've even seen people who they want to travel to some place, but they won't even make the first attempt to travel. Why? Because they may have the fare to get to that place, but they are afraid of how they'll come back. So they don't even go to that place. Why? Because they are afraid. How will I come back when I get there? Yes.
No, when I told my friend yesterday, we're having this discussion, and we started talking about the fear of poverty.
Yes.
Which is, again, another type of fear, where, you've started to make it in life, but then in your family, generally, a lot of people, they reach a certain point and then they tend to drop. And she was like, I don't know, can you ask him how this is and how that works? So now that she's watching, because I know she is, how can you talk to someone like that?
It's very simple. Number one, you cannot overcome or go over poverty, overcome poverty by thinking about poverty. The same way you cannot become healthy by thinking about sickness or diseases. The thing that you're afraid about, you should never even tolerate it in your mind. Don't give it any airtime in your mind. You should focus on exactly what you want. Unfortunately, most people focus on what they don't want instead of focusing on what they want. The focus of your mind should not be on the fears, or like, for example, your friend, being afraid of poverty and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They should focus their attention, their mind, they should give their attention, their mind to riches, to affluence, to opulence. That is where they should focus their mind. That is how you overcome that fear. Yes.
So then how do you do that? In my entire interview, it's just how. H-O-W, how. I'm just going to be asking you how. So how do you then, talk to yourself and tell yourself, let's focus on the positivity? Because there's a lot of good in your life, but you only see the negative. You only see that car that you're not driving. You only see the house that you don't live in. You only see that wife that you don't have. You see the children that are not there. That's all you see. You don't see the good job that you have and the health that you have and, the good people around you. That's not what you see. So how do you focus on positivity?
Number one, you have to expose your mind. Because what you're exposed to is what tends to become dominant in your thoughts. Actually, we think in terms of pictures. I call them mental pictures. You have to envision what you want to see in life. To mentally picture means to envision. You have to envision what you want. You have to envision that car that you want. Let me tell you, before I even had my first car, I had a photograph of a nice car, 4x4, that I was dreaming one day I would drive, and I had that photo at the back of my door. And the idea was that every time I was walking out of my house, and by the way, it was one-room house, just
bed-sitter.
Yeah, in fact, it was not even a bed-sitter. You see, in a bed-sitter, you have a place for the washing, kitchen. And, it was just a room, But I had that photo behind my door, and the idea was the moment I'm walking out in the morning, I look at that picture and I envision myself going to my car parked outside.
Yeah.
It has to start with envisioning. You have to envision. You have to mentally picture. We think in terms of picture. When you think about a car, you don't think about the letter C-A-R. You see a picture. When we talk about a house, you don't think about the letters H-O-U-S-A. No, you see the picture of a house. We think in terms of pictures. So you have to expose yourself to those pictures. You have to go to where those things are. You have to go with the people that have the things that you want to have. You have to interact with the people that are already doing what you're afraid of doing. Yes.
So I need to be around, if I want to be a rich PR person. We had a PR guest who came right before you. Then she should be around one of the biggest PR agencies in the world.
Yes. If you want to become a millionaire, you have to go to where people are making millions. You have to go and interact with the guys that are millionaires. And you have to go and borrow their thoughts and their ideas. Interact with them. Ask them questions. How did you make your first million? How easy was it? Was there a system you used? Can I learn that system? Yeah. If you are to make $1 million again, how long would it take? All those things. You have to interact with them.
Fantastic. Yes. Let me tell you, this is a conversation, guys. It's just that there are cameras and people are watching, but this is actually a conversation that we're just having one-on-one. Feel free to join in. Kindly call us. The number is at the bottom of your screen. The hashtag online, K24AlphaG. What are the fears that you have? What are some of the issues that make you, limit your thoughts and limit your vision and your drive, and you think, I cannot do it before you even start doing it? What are some of those things? Maybe our guest can help you overcome it. Now, the other day, you said something interesting. If you want to be a millionaire, go and hang around them. So I had an opportunity a couple of months ago to go and I happened to be in a room and there were very wealthy people there, and how they thought was very crazy. So let me tell you something. They said that the difference between rich people and poor people is that unsuccessful people already think of how this business will not work. You think of all the limitations that are there, so much so that you don't even go for it. So he says, I have this plan. He's starting a very, very big business. And he said that I've already laid down the plan. I have the strategy. I'm like, but where are you going to get the capital? Where's the money coming from? And said, you see right there, you've already thought of one reason why it won't work.
And you don't even need to think about where will money come from. You know what you need to think? Because money will come from wherever it is at that point in time. Yeah. Most people try to put blocks. How will I start? Start with what you have. Just start. Because you don't need anything outside of yourself other than your vision and your belief in yourself to begin on doing something.
Yes.
But most of the times we try to, like I said, excuses. That, I can't do this because I don't have money. I can't do this. I don't have money. When I started what I do, I had no website. There was no Facebook. There was no Twitter. There was no LinkedIn. There was nothing. But just to start. I had no book to my name. But I just started.
Yes.
And I started telling people, this is what I do. This is what I do. I can do this for you. I can do this with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you started surrounding yourself with positive
Yes,
people.
exactly. What I've just said to you about meeting millionaires, I started doing that. I started sitting, having lunch with them, asking them those questions I just mentioned.
Wait, how are you having lunch with them and you can't even afford lunch by yourself? So much okay, bedsitter.
You see, there is something that people have to understand, that
Yeah.
God has given you a very powerful machine. Your mind is the most powerful computer. It's a biocomputer. And the reason why God gave you that brain and the mind on top of your neck is so that you don't have to bother him with most of the things. You have to use it creatively, intentionally. Believe you me, Amina, if you wanted something from somewhere, you will get it somehow, if you're really determined.
Yeah.
So it was difficult, yes. But let me tell you, do you know people love to talk about their stories of success? People love to tell you how they overcame their obstacles and how they succeeded.
Yeah, whether it's bragging or not.
Yes,
They just love
it
it.
is actually bragging. People love to say that.
Yes.
And so I would go meet with people like those and I say, how did you succeed? And they would, if they had the time, they were more than willing to tell me how they succeeded in life. So I would glean from the wisdom of years. And we even ask them, I would tell them, I know you're a busy person. Perhaps you normally even...
I'm so sorry, Stephen. Let me just interrupt you and pick up a call. Agnes from Kiambu is calling. Hello, Agnes.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Please, proceed with your question or comment.
A question.
Yes?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. I come from the family of faith.
Uh-huh.
Na ni ile familia mtu anaambiangwa hawezi. We are not so much educated.
Uh-huh.
So ndio tunaona kila wakati ukienda kuanzia kitu hawezi.
Yes.
So una hiyo pia kuambiwa na relatives hawezi. So unavuka unajua hawezi. How can you overtake that?
Yes. Ah.
Like now,
Uh-huh.
I'm planning. And then na wengine na kulimu wanatokea, where's my name?
Yes.
So how can you overtake that?
Ah, okay. All right. Thank you so much, Agnes. You've heard her question.
I had
She's
it
from a
sometimes.
family of 8,
Yes.
and she's so used to hearing how wheezy, you can't, how wheezy, you can't. So there's no encouragement at all. How do you get past that?
Number one, you see what has happened because of being told many times, whereas you can't, she has actually come to believe that she cannot. However, the key word is believe. Believe. She has formed beliefs, but these beliefs are called now limiting beliefs. They are limiting her. What she needs to do is to create new beliefs about herself that will counteract the beliefs that she already has, and now she will be able to move beyond what she has been told by her family members that you cannot. Now, before I even tell her how to go about that, I need to mention that it is very important that you do not allow people to speak to your life about you, things that you don't want to believe about you, by what they tell you. So you must guard against what people tell you. So how do you form the beliefs that you need to develop in order for you to thrive in life? Number one, you need to write down exactly what it is that you want to do. And then at the back of your mind, you need to, once you know exactly what it is that you want to achieve, keep reading it as many times as you can. Keep reminding yourself. Keep meditating on it. And at the back of yourself, keep telling yourself, I can do it. I can do this. I can do this. From the religious where I come from, we say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I think she needs to have certain, those kind of beliefs to be able to achieve whatever it is that she wants to. Yes.
I mean,
The other thing she needs to do is also expose herself to people who have done what she wants to do and what she's being told she cannot do. She needs to go to see those people, go to where they are doing whatever she's being told she cannot do. Let her go there. Let her see what they are doing. Let her interact with them, and she'll realize how easy it is.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But you know that there are people who are like that. It's like having a hater who's your friend.
Yes.
You know, we call them haters. I call them haters. These are people who, they don't really wish you well. But then you think, they're your friends. So you think, no, this person is in my corner. But they're really not. It's almost like, they say a leopard in a sheep's skin. You don't know how to weed them out. And that can happen. You see, like now for her, it's her parents. So they live together. you see them every day.
And it is very unfortunate
Yeah, so
for
how do you
her.
avoid
It's a very unfortunate,
Yeah.
especially your close family members telling you
How do you
cannot.
avoid
Because,
that?
a home is actually supposed to be the place where you are affirmed the most, you are proved the best, you are accepted, people affirm you, they tell you, they support you, they tell you. It's very unfortunate that, her parents, or if those are the parents really who have been telling her that she cannot. She really needs to get, expose herself to basically what I'm saying, to people who are already doing what she wants to do in life and see how they are doing it. That is the only way she's going to create new mental pictures about herself, because she has been told this many times, so she needs to see exactly how this thing is working out with people who are doing it and people who have achieved, and see how have they done it.
So then do you have, okay, so for example, it's her family, so she'll really have to try and put up with that. But what about your friends? I was just asking about them being...
Even your friends, even your family members, sometimes don't be so quick in telling people. In fact, this is my philosophy in life. I don't tell people what I want to do until I have done it. And I actually tell people like that, because the moment you begin to talk about this and you're telling everyone, not like you mentioned, not everyone is going to be happy about what you're doing. Some of your friends, they pretend to be friends, but they are your haters. They don't want to see you succeed, so they will tell you how you can't do it.
They don't want to see you win.
Because they don't want you to get out of their club basket. I call it club basket. They don't want you to go beyond them. They want you to be together at the same level, having the same fears, same worries, living the same neighborhood, So the moment you were talking like, you want to do something else, they are like, no, you can't do it. You can't do it. The best thing is know when to say, know when to speak. Don't just tell everyone.
Speak to.
Yes, exactly. And then again, don't say to people all that you know or all that you want to know, but know all that you want to say. But don't tell them all that you know. Yes.
Let's talk about your partner.
Yes.
So we're married.
Yes.
We're dating. But we don't have the same level of ambition. So me, I'm focusing on my positivity, but you're not.
I think that is one of the key undoing of people in life, because I think, personally, I strongly believe that you need to get a partner who share the same values and drive in life. Because if you don't, they will suck your energy and keep you down. They will pull you down.
So is that warranty? Is that?
That's
I mean, divorce. When you're giving the reasons and you say they're not positive enough, I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I am saying at the point of trying to, you want to settle down, and
Yes.
At that point, really, that you should be on the lookout. You should actually focus on that. You should really know this person. Do we agree in terms of values, drive, and aspirations in life? There has to be some level of congruence, some harmony in your beliefs and what you want to do. But if one of you is on this side of the world and the other one on this other side of the world, how will you work together? How will you stand? Yeah, it will be a problem.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Hello, Davis. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Davis?
I'm good.
Fantastic. Now, please proceed with your question or comment.
Yeah, my question is,
Yes?
how do you get to talk to these people that I want to learn from them? I mean, it's so hard to come to meet them. They're always busy and stuff.
All right. We couldn't get your question. Albo kindly repeat it in my ear. Albo is my director. We couldn't hear it clearly. Did you hear it clearly?
No, I didn't get it.
All right, fine. So Davis, we're going to respond to you through the TV. Please repeat the question in my ear. Don't make him hang up. And you can also keep calling. The hashtag is K24Alfajri. That's on Twitter. And then, of course, the number is right at the bottom of the screen. And I apologize because I've just realized that I think I have a problem when it comes to hearing. I've accepted. So if I don't hear your call, pole sana. Oh, Albo says they also didn't get the question. Well, Davis, if you could call again, would appreciate it, and then you can, repeat your question, and they'll pick it up. Now, when it comes to relationships, it should be building one another, right?
Yes.
And you should feel like you're progressing and you're growing.
I've been studying about relationships for a couple of years now, and let me tell you, people get into relationship without exactly knowing why they need to be in a relationship. People don't even know the purpose of a relationship.
Why do they get into the relationships?
I don't know why. I don't know why they get into relationship, but I think most people get into relationship without actually even knowing what relationships are all about. Because once you get into a relationship with somebody, love is selfless promotion of the potential or the goodwill of another person. It is allowing them the opportunity to give them the emotions, to give them the care, to give them the love, to be able to develop themselves to their highest possible level. And then that is why we get into relationships, so that we can magnify our emotions together, so that we can leverage on each other's strengths and qualities. But most people don't do that. Yes.
They don't do that.
Yes.
That's very true. Now, speaking about your books, how many do you have?
I've done 9 books so far.
9 books?
Yes.
Eish. Eish. And we have one here.
Yes.
The Trick of Life.
Trick of Life. In fact, I've really spoken about how to overcome fear from this book, The Trick of Life.
In this one?
Yes.
So what were you writing about specifically in this one? Is it about fear only?
No, it wasn't about fear. Like the name suggests, The Trick of Life. I just discovered that life has some secret, but doesn't reveal its secret to everyone. It only reveals its secret to people who are searching. Finding is only reserved for searchers. So what I did is I've studied people, and I have followed up people I grew up with, or people that I've all along admired when I was growing up. And I've seen how they have moved, transited from one level to the other. And I have followed them closely, interviewed them, and talked to them exactly, what is your secret? And they shared with me, and I put it into a book. And I tell you, the secret is really not a secret. You don't have to travel to the Far East to find the secret. It's not a mystical code. It's all about thoughts. It's our thoughts, because our thoughts forms our beliefs. Our beliefs determines our expectations. Our expectation in life determine our outcome, or results, and behavior, and then they determine how our life end up being.
All right.
It starts with the thoughts.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we have a question coming in right now. We have Bernard. Good morning, Bernard.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You sound very upbeat.
Sorry?
You sound very upbeat. That's good for a Monday.
I'm fine.
Sawa. What's your question or comment, please?
No.
No. No question or comment? I'm sorry. All right. Okay.
My question was...
Okay. Yes?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah. Nilikuwa nauliza. Sasa alikuwa anasema kama unataka kuanzisha biashara ama you are focusing on something.
Yeah.
You face the people you want to prosper like them.
Hello?
Oh yeah. Alafu kama mimi nimefanya catering and I'm trying to open a business like a restaurant or a cave. Na watu una ile njia ya kufikia watu wakubwa, utawapata aje?
Okay, so that's the same question that Davis had asked. Thank you so much, Bernard. It's the same question that he had asked. So he has this dream of opening a restaurant. He wants to do all these things. Same as, Davis, and they want to know. So you were talking about lunching with millionaires and all these successful people, and you want to be in their minds and you want to be around them. Where are they? Where can you meet them? How do you get a hold of them?
Especially with this era of information and technology, you can't even be asking, how do I even get them? Because let me give you an example. I sat down with some young men and I told them how they needed to get to know who the people that would buy from them. They were working for an insurance company. I was trading in an insurance company. And so I was challenging them to be creative, to use their mind creatively, to be able to get hold of clients who have got the net worth to be able to afford to pay policy, to buy policy on what they were selling. Now, so they asked me, so how do we go about it? And I said, you need to be creative. I gave them a couple of examples. I don't need to repeat all that. But one young man did something very interesting. It was something crazy. But let me use this as an example. What he did, he identified a restaurant where the guys that he wanted to sell to normally used to go for lunch. So he went to the restaurant and spoke to the manager of the restaurant, actually to the owner of the restaurant, and said, look, I'm a young man trying to come up in life, and I want to meet a certain clientele. I have not been able to, but I know they actually come to lunch here. Would you allow me to come and work for you over lunchtime? I don't want you to pay me. I just want to have the chance to interact with them. So the guy was allowed, when they are put on the apron, was working there as a waiter over lunchtime. While he was working and serving the guests, you know what he was telling them? My name is so-and-so. I don't work here, but I came here because I know you come to lunch here, and I'd love to have an opportunity to meet with you and discuss with you something that I think can help you and your business. And he got some appointment, and that's how he was able to sell. You have to be creative. And then again, there's something called pixels of separation. That means if Amina wants to talk to, who, for example, the president of Kuwait, from within your network, there is somebody from the people that you know who knows somebody in another network, who knows somebody in another network. And like that, it can't even go beyond 6 who knows the president of Kuwait. It's only that we do not utilize the networks that we have. People are the greatest resource we have. The more relational capital you have, the more powerful you'll be in life. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Volunteering during lunchtime, that's very interesting.
Yes.
And people do that. Actually, there's recently I had traveled, and there's a place we had gone for lunch, and this girl told me she's a radio guru, and she said, you know, when I want to go and meet some people, what I do is I go and I look for an expensive restaurant where the soda is like 2,000 shillings. I save up. I go, I sip one soda for like 2 hours, and I make sure I meet these people. You have to take yourself there. That makes sense. So I didn't know it was actually practical. We have another caller? All right, K24 Alpha Jury, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Watu wangu Mombasa, Derek kukoje, uko salama?
Niko salama sana.
Poa basi. Swali lako?
Okay, I have a comment.
Oh, it's a comment. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello, yeah, I have a comment concerning the conquering fear. Yeah, I'm aspiring motivator, and I'm encouraged with the discussion that is going on the TV.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that most people allow fear to paralyze their dreams, and especially when you get that you get comments that are discouraging from people that you trust. That you get that these people get to be down, and you not fulfill whatever you want to do or purpose to do in your life.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Derek from Mombasa. We appreciate it, and we're very thankful of all the calls that we get. So keep on calling from different parts of the country and say hi. Then we'll continue with the discussion. Hashtag K24 Alpha Jury. I'm going to be sampling some of the tweets that we are getting on our social media. So thank you so much for that. At K24 TV is how you can get a hold of us on Twitter, and I'll read some of them. Once my Twitter decides to open. As it opens, let's take a look at our trending video, and then we get back and talk more about overcoming fear.
Step 1. Put your fear under a microscope. Trying not to think about the thing you're scared of is about as easy as, ow, ignoring a nasty paper cut. You can do it until you accidentally get lemon juice in it. Instead of ignoring those thoughts, examine your fear completely. In your well-cast journal, write down exactly what you're afraid of and how this fear makes you feel. What are the physical side effects of feeling this way? What are you missing out on because of this fear? For example, my fear of learning how to drive is making me sick to my stomach every time I get in the car. Ugh, my heart races. I'm too scared to do anything more than back out into the driveway. I'm never going to get my license. Step 2. Put your fear into context. Next, on your worksheet, answer the question, logically, what is the worst thing that could happen? Okay, well, if your fear is of driving, the worst thing that could happen is, you could wreck your parents' car, take out a mailbox, hit the neighbor's cat. You could run over your dad's foot. Okay, look, the fact that you're even nervous about driving shows that you're taking this seriously. So good for you. You're on the right track. Now let's do something to tackle this fear. Step 3, rationalize. Okay, look at what you just wrote down. What are the odds of that actually happening? Well, not huge. The odds of dying in a car crash are roughly 1 in 11,000. You're statistically as likely to get injured by a toilet, or struck by lightning, or win an Oscar. In fact, you're twice as likely to die riding a bike as you are driving a car. Teenagers have been learning how to drive since the horse and buggy went out of style. Sure, accidents happen, but know that fear often comes from the right side of your brain. The emotional side. Force this fear over to the left side of your brain and take time to think logically about your situation. Step 4. Force yourself to physically relax. Stretch. Take long, deep breaths. Get your breathing steady and your blood pressure down. Try to release any tension you're carrying in your body. When you get scared, you often tense up. and this can cause chronic pain. Step 5. Acclimate yourself to the fear. It's cliche, but sometimes the best thing to do is face your fear and try to get used to it. Usually, the more often you do something, the less scary it gets. Make a decision to put yourself in the path of things that scare you. As long as these things aren't dangerous, of course. All right, Wellcasters, to recap. Today we covered coping with our fears. Step 1, put your fear under a microscope. Step 2, put your fear into context. Step 3, rationalize. Step 4, force yourself to relax. And step 5, acclimate yourself to your fear.
We're talking about fear this morning, how to overcome it. Now, we were talking about earlier, is fear a part of the success journey?
Yes, it is, because, sometimes we think that people who are successful never feared something, anything in life. And as I said, when we started, I actually say that all men have fears, but it is the courageous men who actually decide, I will work against all odds, against the fears that I have. I'll confront the fears. It's the judgment that what you need and what you want to achieve and accomplish in life is more important than what you're afraid of or what you're afraid about. So they work towards that and they overcome. In fact, fear is the greatest enemy of man. Fear is the greatest enemy of man. And the way to conquer fear, once you identify the beliefs that are limiting you and then you start creating new beliefs, the next thing you need to do is actually to do the thing that you're afraid about. If you're afraid of heights, you need to expose yourself to heights. If you're afraid of water, the only way to overcome water, the fear of water, whether it's swimming pool or whatever, is to get into the swimming pool.
Yes.
You have to do the thing that you're afraid about.
Yes.
Yes.
Some people who are scared of heights should go back.
Should actually expose themselves to heights.
Really?
That is the only way, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But would you really, will you really overcome it, or will you be more scared? I mean, you'll just see,
you see, you need to see what I have just mentioned. Number one, you need to identify what is it that I believe that make me afraid of height. For example, if you're afraid of heights, what is it that I believe? For example, you could say, I believe that if I go up there, I will collapse or I will fall. That is number one. So that's the first thing you need to identify. What is the belief that has caused or created this fear? Then you ask yourself, what do I need to believe in order for me to be able to expose myself to heights and in order for me to counteract this fear?
Yeah.
Then you write it down. Then once you do that and you know what it is, then you start telling yourself that belief so that it becomes part of you.
Yes.
And then you expose yourself to the thing that you're afraid of and you start doing it. Yes.
All right. I hope you are getting it and you're writing it down and you're learning. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, K24 Alpha Jury. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, hi.
Rono, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, please proceed with your question or comment.
Okay, my question is in relation to the question that Amina you had raised about relation. You had said you have
about
a
the
partner, but you're not
elections.
moving in the right direction, something like that. And
Our relationships, okay.
our speaker somehow dealt on the part where you really are getting into a relationship. What about if you are already in it? What are the steps that would help you, or what would you do as to either align your partner to be in the right direction? Because as we have had, it's really like it drains a lot of energy from you when you are not moving in the right direction together. So I would like our speaker to address that, please. Thank you.
You had the question.
If I got the question right, he's asking, supposing you're already in a relationship
Yeah,
and it is already draining your
already
energy.
married.
Yes. So, well, of course, there are many mitigations towards that. Number one, of course, you can talk. Communication lines need to be open to talk to your partner about it. That's the obvious thing that you need to do. But also, if there is a serious problem about it, you would have to think about looking for a counselor or a relationship expert, talking to them, and let them help you in that. Yes.
Okay.
I think it's all just about talking to your partner.
Communicate.
Yes. Because
Communicate.
this is your partner. After all, you made a choice to stay with this partner.
Yeah.
Yes.
But sometimes you find out that, we talk about this all the time because we talk about relationships on the show, and you find out that you didn't ask the tough questions when you were dating.
Very
ask about
unfortunate then. Yes.
color, what you like eating, where you like.
And people ask questions that won't even help them.
No,
That,
but
for
we
example,
don't know
where
at
do you
the
come
time.
from? How is that going to help you? It won't help you.
Because that's what we hear people ask. asking?
People really need to know how to ask questions. You ask, like you say, tough questions, because you will never get answers to questions you're not asking. And by the way, you get information or you learn as much as the questions you are asking. So actually what determines to what level you get to know your partner is the questions you ask even before you start dating or before you settle together as husband and wife. So you need to ask tough questions. Not where did you come from? Okay, that's just what I would call a situation question. It's really neither here nor there. It's not giving you anything.
It's not.
Yes.
So
you need to know, who is this person? Who is this person? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about life? What are you here about to do? What exactly do you want to accomplish? What has been your greatest hurdle in life? Your greatest fear? What do you want to see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years? What do you want to do? What do you want to prove with your life? You need to ask these questions.
What is your purpose in life?
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about God, religion? If you're a religious person, you need to know that the other person is religious
Yes,
as well.
exactly. Again, if you're religious and the other person is, you will have issues.
You will have issues.
Yes,
But at that time, you're so in love, you think it's not important.
And the unfortunate thing is that even when you see people actually who, they're coming up with a relationship and you try to help them, sometimes, people just come and say, what do you think? And you tell them exactly what they need to be on the lookout on. Most of the time, people don't even think about what you're telling them. They are so much in love, infatuated, they don't want to hear anything.
At all.
Yes, they don't. But guess what? Most of the times when they walk down the aisle, most of the time, you realize if you do not take your time to do proper ground check, you will have issues. And most of these relationship actually break up. Yes.
And there's something important you mentioned. Why are you getting into this relationship?
Exactly.
Why are you getting into this marriage?
Yes.
It can't be because I'm old enough.
Now I'm 30 for ladies. Now I'm 30, so I have to, come on.
The clock is ticking. I need to go.
Who said that you have to get married when you're 30?
Yeah.
I have seen people I know of a guy in UK who got married when he was 123.
What?
Yes.
123.
123.
I have to read that story. I don't believe that. But listen, Stephen, look at the camera. There's someone who's, been watching this show, and they even have a fear of calling on air to ask questions.
Yes.
They have a fear of expressing themselves on social media if they didn't ask any questions. What do you tell that person?
I would say this.
Camera 3 right there.
My camera 3. Okay, this is what I would tell them. Number one, you have to do what is it you're afraid of doing, because it's like asking, let me give an example. If you want to take someone out for a date, maybe it's a guy you want to take a girl out on a date, and you're afraid that she might say no. Well, before you asked her for a date, you didn't have her for a dinner date or for a lunch date. So even by asking and she refuses, you still don't have her. So there's nothing you have lost. I think what you should focus on is asking yourself, if there's some thought playing in your mind saying, supposing you fail, supposing you don't succeed, you should be telling yourself, supposing I succeed, supposing I get it. Always suppose on the positive side. Yes.
All right. And also the people around you are so important. They influence how you think. So it's really, really important. The minute you start being around people who have limitless ambition, they don't see the end. Opportunity is present. They are always looking at what's working. It's just really crazy.
Allow me to mention something on that about people that are surrounding you.
Yeah.
Number one, if you want to go higher in life, you should need to talk to the people that are at your level. For example, if you want to be an MD of a company, for example, if you want to be the MD of this company, let me not use, but if you want to be an MD of a company, you should be talking to your peers, telling them that, one day I want to be an MD of the company. Do you know what they will do? They will laugh at you. They will say, you? But if you talk to the MD of the company, he will actually look at you and wonder, is this guy serious about what he's talking about? Because he knows it is possible. He will not discourage you. He will tell you, this is what you need to do. So the people that don't talk with people that are below you, there's nothing they can give you anyway. Talk to the people that are above, because they know, they are expert, they know what it has taken them to be there. So they will encourage you and they tell you, work on this, watch out on this, and you'll be able to get to where I am.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And with that said, I think I know now what I want to do and what is my next job. I like that. It's a very productive Monday morning. Thank you so much, sir. And I hope that you also learned something. If you didn't, but we still have some more of this coming every single Monday. If you're okay with that, let us know. What do you think? Who should we feature on the show? Who do you know from where you live who could be a fantastic addition and interviewee on our show right here? The hashtag is K24alpha. At K24TV. Let us know. This interview is going to be right up on our YouTube channel in the next 10 minutes. So keep on watching. And thank you so much for being with us. On behalf of Ian Wafula, my name is Amina Abdurrabah. We're back tomorrow at 6 to 9 a.m. on K24 TV. Bye.